Alright guys, today I've got out the old Mega Drive here, and what I wanted to show you was my Super Magic Drive. Now this is an aftermarket product which back in the day was used to basically play copy games. So this came out when the Mega Drive was still current generation. So this came out long before any of the EverDrives or any of that modern stuff came out. So this sits on top of the Mega Drive, as you can see. Has a cartridge slot here. It has two ports in the back here. This one goes to the floppy drive, which I have here beside me, and this one would go straight to your computer. So we'll set that in place here. It just sits on the top of the Mega Drive there, the same way that a power base converter would. So this machine came with its own floppy drive, which I have here. It has this supplied cable. It also needs its own power supply as well, but you can just use the standard Mega Drive power supply on this. And it just attaches to the port on the back of this. It is labelled Disk IO. So just go ahead and plug that in there. Screw it in. So I've owned this for probably a year, maybe more than that. Probably more than a year now. I got this as part of a trade from a good friend, Tom. His YouTube channel is Jamaki Animation. I'm not actually sure if he's even still got his YouTube channel up. I know he had stopped putting videos up, but yeah, if you, I'll put a link in the description bar to his channel if you so wish to visit. So I will just get the power supply for this thing sorted. Okay, so we'll have it all wired up here and ready to go. The other feature of this is its ability to actually read a retail game to the floppy. So this would have been how you copied your games back in the day. You could have hired out a game, put it in, copied it to your floppy drive, and then taken the game back to the hire shop, and you would still have the game obviously on a floppy disk. And yeah, very cool item. Seem to be reasonably few and far between. I know that you're not allowed to sell these on eBay because they are a copying device. I do have an absolute load of floppy disks here with Mega Drive games on them. There is different sizes of this. This is an SMD800 model. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head what size this is. I'll put up an annotation here. I'll look it up after making this video here. So some of them have a bigger memory, which allows you to copy bigger games, but for the most part this suffices for, you know, a good 80% of Mega Drive games that were ever released. In some cases you can actually fit more than one game on a single floppy. So we have two versions of Musha Lest here, the US and the Japanese version, all on one standard floppy drive. So we'll fire this thing up here and I'll show you exactly what it does. Alright, I'm just pointing the camera at the TV here. So this is the initial screen you get when you turn this thing on. I have no floppy drive inserted and no game inserted in the cartridge slot. So you have your option to run file, which would run the game from the floppy drive, or you can run IC card, which runs any game which is inserted into the cartridge slot. As you can see down here, the RAM in this is actually 8 meg or 8 megabit or whatever that stands for. So yeah, it's like I said, there is different sizes of memory and different versions of these. So I'm just going to insert a floppy drive here, and we'll go to run file, and the floppy disk is being read there, and there we have our two games. Number one is Musha and number two is Alest. So you can pick whatever one you want there. We'll just pick the first one, and then you have a counter which counts down as the game is being read off the floppy. And there you go. So absolutely brilliant item this. It would have been fantastic to own one of these back in the day when the Mega Drive was current gen. It would have opened up a whole new world of games that you could never afford or never knew existed even back then. So just press reset here, and as you can see, it just stays in the game. The game is loaded into the memory of the Super Magic Drive. So it's just like having a cartridge inserted now. So to get back to the main menu, you actually have to switch the system off and back on again. So we're going to put in this game here. It's a Disney Collection 2-in-1. To put the game in, you obviously have to turn the system off, insert your game, and then flick it back on again. So we can now just go to run IC card, and it will just boot the game straight up as if the Super Magic Drive wasn't attached to the system. Start button. Okay. Yeah, so running a game, a proper cartridge is just the same as if the Magic Drive wasn't attached at all. What we're going to do now is actually copy this game across to a floppy. So if we knock the system off and back on again, if we push right on the D-pad, it takes us into the utility memory, or menu, sorry, and have all these different options here. Save IC card, which is what we're going to do. We're going to copy the game to a floppy. You can then rename the file on the floppy, delete the file on the floppy, format the floppy, and I think load save data and load save file are like save backups for those games that have that feature. So first we'll go in and we'll delete this file. So we'll have your options over here telling you which button to press. So press button C to delete the file. Now obviously, because this only has 8 meg memory in the system itself, we can only copy games which are 8 meg or below. So some games can be up to 16 meg, possibly more than that. So those games we can't copy, unfortunately. Basically, if it fits on a standard floppy, we're good to go. So we're going to save IC card. We'll have to give it a name, so we'll just call it Disney. Sorry guys, me lad's messing about here. Okay, and then to accept we have to press, it says here, up and C to accept. And that's it, saving. So you get the counter again as the game's being written to the floppy. Obviously this is the main feature of this, is the ability to back up games. Mainly what I use it for nowadays is basically like an Everdrive. I bought myself a USB floppy drive from a laptop, so I can just copy downloaded ROMs to the floppies, and then I can obviously play it through this device. So that's it copied there. So if we go back to the main menu and hit run file, and there we'll have our game listed, Disney, and then you have to wait for it to load again. So it's now actually loading from the floppy disk onto the built-in memory in the Super Magic Drive. Once it's in the memory, it'll work exactly like having a cartridge in it, so there's no more waiting after this initial load. There's no more waiting times. It just works exactly as if there's a cartridge in the machine. And there you go, that's the game booted up. So it will, as long as you don't turn the system off, that game will stay loaded into the Super Magic Drive's memory, and it will work obviously exactly like having a cartridge in it. So you can press reset, and I'll just do that, just press reset. It's just exactly the same as resetting the machine with the cartridge in. It's only if you turn off the system at the main switch, then you'll have to actually load again from the floppy. So that is the Super Magic Drive. Well, what would you describe it as? A pirate copying device. Very cool item. Absolutely love having this in my collection, and I do actually use this thing. Like I said, there's a few games that I don't own that I like to play, and rather than playing it on an emulator, I can actually download the ROM and play it on the actual hardware. So I hope you enjoyed looking at this quick overview and review, if you want to call it, of the Super Magic Drive. And as always, I appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.